Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. We were going to make this yesterday, but we were getting ready to film our first episode of Joyride on the Struggle Bus. Barry got out the mics and the lights and the camera and the track, and I was getting ready to start pulling out some food and stuff, and the power went out.
What are you doing, Molly?
Cooking in the dark. I don't know about you, but we like making a big pot of hearty food for dinner, and then that way we've got leftovers for lunch for a couple of days afterwards. Today we're going to make something that I'm not really sure what to call. The purist would be really offended if I called it either gumbo or jambalaya, because it's neither. But it's something in that family, and we're using gizzards and hearts. The first ingredient I'm using today is chicken gizzards. And they are cheap at the grocery store, but we helped process some birds at a farm, so we ended up with a bunch. And I am desperately trying to clean out my freezers because I want to stop running my big chest freezer by the time the weather warms up. I don't want to keep using electricity, and I don't want the stuff inside to get weird and old. So that's why I'm using the gizzards today instead of chicken thighs or something like that. This is not the stomach of the bird. Some people think that that's what this is, and it's not. It is a muscle that kind of wraps around the stomach of the bird, and so it's just like a red meat, and it's a little bit tough because it worked hard for the bird. We're going to start out by pressure cooking these for a few minutes just to get them on their way to being tender. They are by far the chewiest meat going into this recipe, so we're gonna give them a head start. We're gonna let that pot come to pressure and cook for about 5 minutes or so before we add the next ingredient, which is chicken hearts. And the heart of the chicken is kind of like little steaks. They're red meat. And as you can see, we've got a little pile of them here, all cut up and ready to be added to the Instant Pot once the gizzards are getting a little more tender. In the meantime, we're gonna get all of the vegetables started in the big pot. And I'm going to be adding a couple of tablespoons of butter first. And I'm gonna get that melted. Next, I have a cut up onion and a couple ribs of chopped celery going in the pot. Turn that down. With my celery and onion, I'm going to add in some minced garlic, just out of the jar. About it. I love garlic. I'm gonna stir and cook these onions and celery for just a few minutes until they start to soften a little bit. All right, it's time to add the hearts to the gizzards. Oh, I'm gonna burn myself. So right now it's looking like that. As you can see, they cooked down quite a bit. I'm gonna add the hearts. I'm gonna give them a few minutes more. I like my onions pretty well cooked, so that's why I've given them such a big head start. But the next thing going in is various peppers that I chopped up at the end of the season last year. So these are out of my garden. All different kinds of peppers. Next up, I have some okra that was also out of my garden, and it's just been blanched and cut up and frozen. So that's going in the pot as well. We have some basic petite diced tomatoes going into the pot next. I don't have any canned tomatoes out of our garden, so we're just using store-bought today. And I don't like big chunks of tomatoes, so I always get the little dices. Oh, and the juices as well, not drained. All right, the chicken should be done. Let's see if it's tender. It's just getting there, like 5 more minutes. While I'm giving that meat just a couple more minutes, I'm going to add some seasoning to our vegetables. And I don't measure, it's just a taste. I'm also going to add some cut up sausage. And I will write down the seasoning mix recipe and put it in the description, just in case anybody's interested. It's just a Cajun blend. Doesn't smell spicy enough yet. Next, I'm gonna add in a bag of riced cauliflower, and it's nothing special and it's still frozen. No big deal, it'll cook with the rest of it. So colorful. All right, let's take another look at this meat. I'm gonna add the meat along with all the juices into the pot. I'm going to add a little bit of tomato powder to our mixture, just to make it a little bit more tomatoey. This would probably be about 2 tablespoons equivalent of tomato paste, if it were paste. And you guys probably would use cornstarch, but we keep berry away from both corn and wheat, so I use arrowroot flour as a thickener. And I'm just gonna add a little bit to some water, just like you would cornstarch, just for different kind of starch. And it's just gonna make a little bit of difference in the thickness of the soup. Last ingredient is some shrimp. And of course, now you can't taste it until it's cooked and safe. I'm gonna wash this up and use my Instant Pot to make some rice. I do 3 cups of water to 2 like scant cups of rice. It's just white rice. It's what my kids like. And I like using the rice function because it means that I can't mess it up. While the rice finishes cooking, I'm going to clean up the kitchen a little bit and then we'll show you the end result. It would have been funny if I messed up the rice after I said this is one method that I can't mess up the rice. It's beautiful. I added a little bit of salt when no one was looking, but not a lot. And so I think this is ready for my guinea pigs as soon as they get home from their school function tonight.
I'm joking. It's really good.